Tempio Voltiano is a museum dedicated to Alessandro Volta, the inventor of the electrical battery. It is situated in Como, the city where he was born, and lies at the southern end of the lake promenade. Even though it does not hold Volta's tomb, the temple was conceived as a mausoleum and contains all of Volta's scientific instruments and personal possessions. Its construction was sponsored by the rich entrepreneur Francesco Somaini to celebrate the centennial of Volta's death that occurred on March 5th in 1827. The project was handed over to architect Federico Frigerio, and the museum was inaugurated on the 15th of July, 1928. The building is in the neoclassical style, a tribute to the Napoleonic era in which Alessandro Volta lived and worked. The shape recalls the Pantheon in Rome. The plan, square with a central core, is preceded by a pronaos and 4 Corinthian columns holding the gable. Built by the Milanese brothers Luigi and Carlo Rigola, the gable is decorated with a medallion depicting Alessandro Volta's profile. The temple has a reinforced concrete structure covered in stone and marble. It is about 20 meters tall and 14 meters wide. The main part of the building sits on a 2.5 meter high pedestal that was made to protect the inside from the lake's possible flooding. 2 large symmetrical staircases wind up to the pronaos that holds the entrance portal. On each side of the portal are 2 statues, also by the Ricola brothers, representing science and faith, the values that inspired and guided Alessandro Volta's life. The circular hall has a diameter of about 12 meters. The perimeter is lined by 8 Corinthian columns and 4 corner pillars. The top loggia rail runs at about 2/3 of the column's height and holds the exhibition's second floor. The rich trabeation of the column capitals shows the dedication to Alessandro Volta. The cupola is the main light and is entirely decorated with rose windows. Also, the mosaic flooring is of great value. It is made with marbles and alabaster from all over the world to celebrate the universal significance of Alessandro Volta. The ground floor is entirely devoted to Volta's research activities, illustrated through his lab instruments. Some pieces are originals, others are replicas. The glass cases, 15 in all, are placed on the connecting line between the hall's circular perimeter and the building's square plan. The tour starts on the left side of the entrance and is divided in 7 sections, each referring to a particular research field. The first section is on flammable gases and thermal phenomena. In fact, Alessandro Volta discovered methane gas and called it flammable air from the swamps, in reference to the marshy areas of Lago Maggiore where he first identified the substance, unknown until then. The museum's collection includes the lamp that runs on flammable air, one of the first practical applications of methane gas developed by Volta. The lantern, also equipped with a gauge, was particularly successful, especially in Germany. Another device due to Volta's ingenuity is the eudiometer, an instrument created to measure the chemical composition of gases, particularly methane gas. Also, this instrument was soon used by all major scientists in Europe. This section also contains some models of Volta's gas pistol, considered the precursor of modern hydrogen bombs. An explosion was generated from a small spark, lighting the hydrogen in a metal beaker and would start off the bullet. The spark used for the explosion was produced by an electrophorus, an instrument creating electrical discharges also invented by Volta and visible in section 2. The electrophorus was connected to the pistol by a copper line. Volta realized that with a long enough line, the explosion could be created many kilometers away from the place in which the spark would be set off. The telegraph was based on this principle and would be invented a few years later. Section 2 also holds the electrometers, devices that Volta invented to measure electrical potential. Today, the unit of measurement for electrical potential is the volt, in honor of Alessandro Volta. One of the most visited sections is number 5. It is dedicated to the study of electricity in animals and the dispute that set Volta against his colleague and friend Luigi Galvani. Galvani believed that the muscle contractions in animals had an electric origin and believed that the electricity was produced by those same organisms. Volta conducted various experiments on frogs and proved that animal organisms do not produce electricity as Galvani sustained, but are merely energy conductors. Volta also studied electric rays, fish that defend themselves from predators producing an electrical discharge, but was unable to explain the phenomenon. However, his attempt to recreate the energy field produced by electric rays led him to the most important invention of all, the electrical battery, the first still generator of electricity. A vast display of batteries is visible in Section 6. It took many years for Volta to fine-tune the device. He discovered that the interaction between two different metals creates an electric charge. He then tried numerous metal combinations and came to determine that zinc and copper generate the higher difference in electrical potential, and therefore enough electricity to be disposed of. The museum's second floor is dedicated to Volta's private and public life. There are several personal objects belonging to the scientist, travel mementos and portraits. A section is dedicated to the honors he received at the London Royal Society in 1800 and from Napoleon Bonaparte in 1801. There are also numerous commemorative materials that were circulating in Italy and abroad after his death, like the 10,000 lira banknote that was dedicated to him and in use until 2002. On the back of that banknote is the Tempio Voltiano.